Welcome to Chumash review of Perek Bet. In the beginning of Perek Bet, we discussed Vayelech Ish mi Beit Levi Vayikach et Bat Levi, and we said that the Ish Amram went from the house of Levi. Vayikach we said meant Hitchatein, married Bat Levi. As we see here, Amram Hitchatein im Yochevet Pam Shniya. Rashi asked the question: why does the Torah tell us now that Amram married Yochevet, when in reality, in Perek Aleph, we already learned about Miriam, and we know they were previously married. So the answer is Biglal Miriam. What happened? So Rashi explains, Shehalach be'asat bito, that Amram went in upon the advice of his daughter, She'amar lo gzeiracha kasha mishal Paro. Rashi explains that Amram, after hearing Paro's decree to kill all the boys, he separated from his wife. The Gemara tells us that as being the Gadol Ador, many other people did the same thing. And Miriam went to her father and said, you know something, what you're doing is much harsher, much worse than what Paro is doing. Paro only is out to kill the boys. You're even preventing the girls from coming to the world. Gzeiracha kasha mishal Paro. What you are doing is worse than Paro. So, upon hearing that, Amram returns to Yochevet upon Miriam's advice. And then, after they remarry, we learn about Leidat Moshe, that Moshe was born. She became pregnant and gave birth to Moshe. Vatera oto ki tovu, the pasuk says. She saw that he was good. So we know every mother thinks her child is good. So what did the Torah mean to say? So Rashi explains, Kishenolad, nitmalei habayit kulo ora, that there was a majestic light that entered the house. It was a beautiful light. Chazal tell us that on the first day of creation, Hashem created a special light which was only for tzaddikim. On that day, that light shined in the house of Yochevet and Amram. And they realized that a special child was born, who hopefully will bring light upon the nation of Bnei Yisrael, who are now sitting in darkness. The Torah then continues that after 3 months, Yochevet can no longer hide Moshe. So what Yochevet did was, she placed Moshe in a basket. Torah tells us in her preparation, Vatachmera b'chema uvazafet. She smeared it with tar and clay. Rashi tells us that the tar, which smelled bad, zefet mi bachutz, v'tit mi bifnim, and the clay was on the inside. Why? Because Yochevet didn't want Moshe to smell the powerful smell of tar, and therefore she put the tar on the outside to protect him and the clay on the inside. She took the child, as you see in the picture, the tall grass, she placed him in the tall grass, al sfat hayor. What happened? Miriam, before Moshe was born, nitnab'a she'ativ imi livaled ben hamoshiyotam. Miriam prophesied that her mother is going to give birth to the child that will save the Jewish people. When Moshe was placed in the Nile River, she stood, she stood, from a distance, the truth is, it should have said, to see what will happen to him. What is it, L'deya? The answer is, Miriam halcha l'rot im nitkayma nevuata. Miriam went to see if her prophecy, if what she said about the child is going to come true. She stood at a distance, and she realized that if the child is saved and protected, that her nevuah will indeed come true in the future. And that's why we see Miriam looking to see what was going to happen to the child. So the Torah tells us that Bat Paro matzah et Moshe. She found Moshe. How did it happen? So the Torah gives us a number of facts. Bat Paro yarda l'rchotz v'rata et hateva. She went down to bathe and she saw the teva. Bat Paro shalcha et amata. She then sent her servant. Rashi brings 2 explanations. Rashi omer et shivchata. Rashi says her maid. Rabbeinu darshu lashonia. The other explanation, famous explanation, is that her hand stretched out and pulled in Moshe. After that, she began to try to nurse Moshe, and the child refused. So Miriam, sha'ala, im hi ratzta, isha meneket min hayver. Do you want me to get a nurse from among the Jewish people? And Bat Paro responded, yes. He hevia et Yocheved. She brought Yocheved. V'Yocheved iniko oto ad shehu gadal. Miriam brought her mother Yocheved, and Yocheved nursed Moshe until he grew up. And then she brought him to Bat Paro, and Bat Paro karalo Moshe, and Bat Paro was the one who gave him the name Moshe, ki min hamayim mishiti. Rashi, commenting on why Moshe refused to nurse, he says, Melame shehechziratu al mitzvot harbe linok v'lo yana, that Bat Paro took Moshe to many women to nurse, and he refused to nurse. Why was that? Because in the future he was going to speak to Hashem. Rashi explains, Sha'peshel Moshe kadosh. His mouth was holy. Why? Because in the future he's going to speak to Hashem. As we see here, Moshe standing at the burning bush, and of course having a conversation with Hashem. So because of the holiness of his mouth, therefore, he could only nurse from a Jewish woman. The Torah then skips, and Moshe grows up. It says Moshe went to see his brothers, Bnei Israel. And what does he see? He goes to the field. Moshe ra'a ish mitzri makeh ish ivri. Moshe notices that there is an Egyptian man beating a Jewish man. Moshe harag et ha-mitzri. Moshe kills the Mitzri. According to the Medrash, he thought about Hashem's name, and the Mitzri died. The kavaro to b'chol, and he buries him in the sand. The Medrash tells us that in fact the sand swallowed him up. Bayom hasheni, then the next day, hu ra'a shnei ivrim nitzim. He saw two Jewish men fighting. Rashi brings down that they were none other than the famous Datan and Aviram, who were always there at the time of trouble. When Moshe questioned them why they were fighting, Hemamrulo, they said to him, Mi samcha sar v'shofet aleinu. Who made you the boss and the judge of us? Are you going to kill us like you killed the Mitzri? And the pasuk then describes how they went and informed Paro about Moshe's actions, forcing Moshe to run away to Midian. When he comes to Midian, the Torah introduces us to Yitro. Yitro had 7 daughters. The Kohen Midian haya sheva banot. But something interesting happened. Yitro had been the Kohen Midian, had been the priest for the Avodah Zarah of Midian. However, Yitro began to discover that it was all fake, and he began to discover Hashem. And therefore he forsook the religion of Midian. What happened as a result? They were very insulted. Haro'im garshu et tabanot. So every time his daughters went to the well, the shepherds would come and chase them away min ha'be'er. Biglal ha'nidui. Nidui was the punishment, the excommunication that they gave Yitro because he had forsaken their religion. Moshe kam v'tzilotam. Moshe seeing this, he gets up and he protects the daughters of Yitro min haro'im. V'gam natnu mayim latzon. And he also feeds the sown. They come home to Yitro, and Yitro asks them, how did you come home so fast? And they explain that an Egyptian man had saved them. And Yitro says, what's wrong with you? How do you leave him outside? How do you not invite him in for a meal? Eventually the Torah tells us that Moshe hitchatein im Sipora, Moshe marries Sipora, v'nolad ben b'shem Gershon. And he has a son named Gershon, ki ger hayiti be'eretz nachria. Moshe says, I am a stranger in a foreign land. After this story, the Torah comes to the climax of the parah. It says, Vayar Elokim et b'nei Yisrael, vayidai Elokim. What happened? Hashem looked down upon Bnei Israel, and it says Hashem knows. Paro dies. As a result of Paro dying, caused Bnei Israel to analyze their situation. Bnei Israel tza'aku el Hashem. Bnei Israel called out to Hashem. Hashem shama et ha-tfilot. Hashem listened to the tefillot. V'zachar et brito im Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You see in the picture of the stars and the sand and all the different promises that Hashem made to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Hashem yada she'igi azman yitziat mitzrayim. At this point, after Bnei Israel calls out in tefillah, after Bnei Israel davens, Hashem said, now is the time for Yitziat Mitzrayim. This, in essence, is the summary of Perek Bet major Rashis that we have learnt.